From the ashes to school the masses. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Scholars Wrestling Show. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my right is Scholar Tarek. What's going on tonight, sir?
It's the No Mercy Prediction Show. That's what's up.
Well, you're not wrong.
I'm being straightforward on this one. Yeah. I was trying to think of something elaborate before we started recording.
Nothing elaborate and witty right now?
No. It's just, it's No Mercy. It's going to be a interesting pay-per-view. The build has been pretty good. I'm actually looking forward to it. The go-home show itself was kind of lackluster, but they've done enough to have me invested, at least with the main events.
Oh yeah, big time.
Lower card, so, but I think they'll put on some good matches.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna break it down every single step of the way. But first, we need to kick things off right with a little bit of very important backstage news.
Indeed. Let's go ahead and peek behind the curtain, but there's only one little story that we have to talk about in this little bit of backstage news. News.
On assignment, May.
News.
Yes. Yes, as if you couldn't tell, our other Scholar Brian, is on assignment of being abducted by the aliens again.
It just never ends. And he was on his way here, and then the aliens came in and just was like, yeah, we need to do some more anal probes. I'm not going to pull a Fandango, but, it is just going to be more anal probes.
Given what we're talking about, there's really no good segue to this. Because if you've been paying attention to the wrestling world at all this week, we unfortunately had to say goodbye to Bobby the Brain Heenan, who passed away at age 73 this week.
It is very hard. It was very sad news to hear this one. And, of course, we recorded earlier in the week, so when this news came out, we didn't talk about it at all on last week's show. But, yeah, there's nothing really else to say. The video packages that WWE put out on Raw pretty much said it all.
Yeah, really.
Now him and Gorilla Monsoon will put on some commentary on those matches in the sky.
Will you stop? Yeah, that was really one of the more bittersweet things I saw come out of this. That little meme of, him and Gorilla are reunited again. That's very sweet.
I actually haven't seen the meme.
I've seen a couple pieces. Well, it wasn't a meme per se. It's just a couple things. Eventually, people came up with the idea that I've seen a couple postings on Facebook and Twitter mentioning, oh yeah, just framing it in that way. And I thought that was really great. But Fool, I know you started watching wrestling slightly earlier than I did at a different time. When you think of Bobby the Brain Heenan, what memories come to mind?
I'm going to be perfectly honest. I don't remember it because I was under 10 years old when I started watching wrestling. But, really, it's just everything I've seen in highlights most of the time with him trying to enter the arena dressed up as his mother. Mm-hmm. All the vignettes with Gorilla Monsoon. Those are the real Bobby the Brain Heenan memories I have.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in the minority, and when I say that, I mean that when I first started watching wrestling, it was actually with WCW when Bobby the Brain Heenan was actually working as a color commentator alongside Tony Schiavone, who, again, is someone who I still consider to be a vastly underrated commentary talent. And when I heard the name Bobby the Brain Heenan, I just assumed it was, okay, he knows wrestling, so he's on commentaries, and I just figured that's all he ever was. I never really got a dose of what his managerial career was like in WWE and beyond until much, much later. But even then, I thought Bobby Heenan was a really, really skilled guy on the mic and just as a talker.
Full of charisma.
Oh, yeah, big time. I thought they were great, especially the two of them with him team with Tony Schiavone. Mm-hmm. That was really, when I think of Bobby the Brain Heenan, that's the man who I think of. And I feel like if you're an older fan, at least older than us, who's really gotten a good taste of who Bobby the Brain Heenan was really like.
Especially in the wrestling category, because I don't recall ever seeing one of his matches, which something I actually have to look up upon.
He was a wrestler?
Yeah.
I thought it was always a...
No, he was a wrestler. He was a wrestler before he was a manager.
I only ever saw him as a manager.
Oh, no. He's had a few matches.
Now the scholar's learning something new tonight.
And I gotta look into this. I gotta look into these matches.
Yeah, I gotta find them too if they're out there. Yeah, if anyone's listening to this, please shoot us a YouTube link or something.
Or also check on the network.
Yeah,
but look up Bobby the Brain Heenan. Maybe we'll find some matches, his documentaries.
Yeah, I want to definitely find out more about someone who is so well loved and so highly regarded in the wrestling world. The scholar in me, I feel like it's something I have to find.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, again, there's not really much else that we can say that hasn't already been said by thousands of others all across the internet and all across the wrestling world, other than thanks for the memories, Bobby Heenan. Hopefully we'll see you again one day. But until then, rest in peace, my friend.
Rest in peace.
Yes. But now we've said our farewells to Bobby Heenan, let's get back to the here and now. Because we are right on the cusp as of this recording of WWE No Mercy 2017. So let's jump right into it with the first match, at least on this run sheet, The Miz versus Jason Jordan for the Intercontinental title. What do you got?
This is the newest match that was officially added to the roster. Or to the card, really. As being a big Intercontinental guy, I'm not really looking forward to this match. But yeah, I like that The Miz is calling out the fact that he hasn't defended the title in a long time. And minus the Raw match with Jeff Hardy, like on a pay-per-view, he called the fact that he didn't defend it at SummerSlam. And what was the one event that was... I'm not going to say Bad Blood. What was the last Raw exclusive event?
Oh, man. Memories are eluding me. I apologize.
But yeah, whatever the last Raw show, yeah, apparently memory is not working well with the Scholars tonight. But yeah, he hasn't defended the title in a long time, which something I even pointed out on past episodes. I guess the whole thing with Jason Jordan, the whole matches that he had with Cena and Roman Reigns are supposed to like show that yes, he can go up with two of the top guys, quote.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least in John Cena's case, yes, the top guy, and Roman Reigns the questionable top guy.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, right. I think they're going to continue on this little Jason Jordan experiment, even though it's not really gluing well with the audience, even myself included. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Jason Jordan on this one.
You think he's gonna win it?
I actually think he's gonna pull off a big upset and win it, and hopefully it'll do something with his career other than just cementing the fact, oh yeah, I'm quote Kurt Angle's son unquote. Now I'm just now he could be just a guy. Hopefully it develops some form of character winning this belt.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna go in a different direction. I'm gonna say The Miz retains, just because of a couple reasons. Primarily, number one, I'm not so sure if people are still so high on Jason Jordan as they hoped they would be, or at least when they first started. Not enough to take down The Miz, at least not yet. Plus, after what The Miz posted, saying that he ended up just recently overtaking the Honky Tonk Man's record for amount of days as Intercontinental Champion, I'm sort of hoping / convinced that someone somewhere is going to take note of it. It's sort of like what they thought of with The Undertaker. No one really thought about the streak until it reached a certain point, and people started pointing it out, like, oh, wow, The Undertaker's got a streak at WrestleMania. Now I'm thinking that maybe more people are going to start paying attention to The Miz right now and his Intercontinental title reign. Maybe it'll go longer. Maybe it will lead to a more extended feud with Jason Jordan. I'm hoping this is where it leads. I think that's where it's going to lead. And it's enough maybes to point me in the direction that, you know what, I'm going to put my money on Miz for this one.
I would put my Miz on this one too, and
You would put your Miz on this one?
I was gonna put my money on Miz too on this one, and mainly because what you were saying about the title reign, but the one major factor on it's the combined days of all his past title reigns.
Yes.
So I'm thinking he could lose it and just regain it, and just continue adding on from there.
Very true. However, it's that little factoid compared to where his feud with Jason Jordan is right now. Even if you were to completely throw out the whole, just going by the feud alone and where it's at right now, I'm still not convinced that it's time for Jason Jordan to get the Intercontinental title yet. I think this feud continues and the Miz hangs on to it for at least one more month.
Okay.
That's my logic anyway. In the meantime, we got an even crazier match talking about. We've got a women's title match. Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax versus Emma, and apparently I forgot to put down the fifth name.
Bailey. Woo.
Bailey, woo, yay.
Bailey, yay, she's back.
Ooh, Bailey, yay.
Nothing says having a top face come back to just gang up on all the heels.
Yeah, again, it just happened so suddenly I actually forgot she was in the match.
Well, apparently because Bailey's now in it, people keep forgetting that Emma's in the match.
Oh, poor Emma.
She just can't catch a break, can she?
But anyway, who do you think is going to win this one?
I actually remember all three of us talking about this particular storyline, at least when it comes to the women's on Raw, for one huge factor, and that's Asuka coming. And we even put it at the big question: I
remember this chat. Yeah.
What do we want to see when she comes in? Obviously, immediately going for the Raw Women's title. Do we want to see the big spectacle moment of her beating Nia Jax, or just the good match that she'll have against Alexa Bliss? And there's even big rumors saying that Emma's going to win the title just so they can title. But when it comes to the prediction itself, I'm just going to say Alexa Bliss is keeping it. She's still on her hot streak as the Raw Women's Champion, even though her match with Nia Jax, the match that they've been building for a long time just so they can throw it on Raw for less than 2 minutes. But everyone's already said their 2 cents about that, so yeah, it's a load of shit. So yeah, I'm going to say Alexa Bliss keeps this one only because they're going to save her for Asuka, which I'm just going to say it right now as a bold prediction. That's what's going to happen. She's going to debut in the first ever Raw Royal Rumble. Raw Women's Royal Rumble.
That would be very interesting if they pull it off. And just for a record, I'm going to join your prediction and say Alexa Bliss takes this one. Because just looking at the lineup, Bayley versus Asuka already happened. Emma versus Asuka already happened. It really wasn't. It was more of a massacre than. Again, it was too early on. Asuka really needed to be established, and he needed to put her over someone strong. Nia Jax, I'm not convinced that would be a very compelling narrative. She's too much of a monster heel. If she was made to look intimidating to Asuka, I'd say maybe, but I'm just, she's not that. I don't think she's on Asuka's level just yet. And I'm not saying Sasha Banks because you really can't do face versus face. That's what they're going to portray her as right now. And not for nothing, in the long run, I'm betting that this could be a really big marquee match. Sasha Banks versus Asuka. So in the meantime, yeah, I'd say Alexa Bliss is really the best fit here to hang on to the belt, just keep that sort of capable, cunning, cowardly heel thing that she's got going on that she does so well, and then she hangs on a title, she's celebrating, and all of a sudden Asuka comes out and just stares her down, does that evil grin that she does so well, and it looks like Alexa Bliss is just going to poop her pants and run away. It writes itself.
Here comes the Scholars